Okay, so welcome back, everybody. And as you can see, this here is the Xbox One Elite controller. Yeah. So I'm not going to do an unboxing because I'm pretty sure you've seen an unboxing of this thing before. But what I want to do is just give you my 1 week review of using this thing and to see if it's worth the actual 163.74. That's after taxes. So when you get it, of course, it's gonna come enclosed in the carrying case. This is nice, all that's cool, fine and dandy, but that is not what you're buying this controller for. So put that to the side. You're buying this controller because of the functionality and the customization of it, especially with these paddles in the back. So one thing, when I was watching other people on reviews and stuff, they weren't talking about the feel of the controller and everything. So they were talking about how it look and how heavy it is, and that is true. It looks like, in my opinion, it looks great, and it is heavy, and I like the heavier feel of it because it does give it a premium feel. Like I said, you're spending, it's $150 controller, so you would want it to at least feel like you're spending $150, and that it does. And it has these interchangeable thumbsticks and all this. You know all this, okay, cool, fine and dandy, but that is not what made me want to get this controller. The thumbsticks, I just kept the regular Xbox One joints on. The PlayStation Dome ones I didn't really care for. And what I'm going to get into with the pedals, my gripe about the pedals is with the larger Xbox One, it doesn't fit comfortably in my hand. If I can show you, like when I'm playing, like having my thumb all the way up here and the rest of, like, I have to have all this up here and this here, so something eventually has to give. I don't really have big hands, so me having to accommodate having all of this up here just to move this around for maybe a extra millisecond of movement or precision is not really a good trade-off in my opinion. So those just kind of just sit to the side, and I just keep the regular one on. Shit. And I just keep the regular one on. There's something that I did like about it, because one of my concerns was like when I'm playing a game or something and I need to really move this stick like really fast, would these things just fly off? And if you can see in there, they have those grooves in there that actually aligns in the controller, and that allows it to go down in there and get a really nice feel to it. And it actually balances itself out really well to where they're not sliding out from an angle. You have to slide directly up to get it off of there. And I really like that about that. This here, I just left this on there because it looks different, it's unique. I don't really care for the D-pad. The games that I play, Call of Duty, Madden, something like that, you don't really need the D-pad like that. So just having this on here, it's just more of a visual thing to me. Might be different for you, but for me, it's just more of a visual thing. Now, the biggest problem I have with this controller is these paddles. So it comes with these 4 paddles, and they're all customizable and changeable. You can map them to whatever button you want, blah blah blah. That's cool, fine and dandy. But when I hold my Xbox controller, these 2 fingers were used to support it, especially with the extra weight that this controller comes with. These 2 fingers were used to support it. So now I have to only support the controller with my pinky and whatever's left of the middle of my hand. Since these thumbs are going to be used to move these, my pointer fingers are used on the trigger and the bumpers, and now that my ring and middle fingers are now supposed to be assigned to these paddles in the back, that literally only leaves me with my pinky and the palm of my hand to just hold the controller in my hand. And I found that very uncomfortable. Like, these are in the ideal spot of where I would hold my controller just to get a grip on it. Especially like when somebody surprises me or something and I need to take them down quickly. I want to shoot, and I grip the controller pretty hard. And I found out that by me having like B and Y, I ended up switching controllers and laying down when I didn't really want to, because I'm just trying to focus my aim and shoot and kill the person that's in front of me. So this didn't work. So what I did was I started to play around. I started to play around with different configurations, because you can take these off, mix and match any way you want. So I tried taking the bottom pedals, moving them up to the top, put them on there, and I realized that even this elongated pedal, you can hit with still your 2 fingers. At least I could. So these were out of the question. This configuration was pretty much out of the question. So then I tried flipping them upside down and putting them on the opposite side. Okay, yeah. So it's kind of like this. So I'd kind of be playing with it up like this, and my fingers, my middle finger would rest here, and I would have to kind of push down on it. Well, after a while of gaming, the side of my fingers would end up hurting. So that's not really comfortable for like long periods of gaming. And these are metal. Nobody says that. These are metal, and I really like that. So these pedals are pretty much out of it. So the most comfortable configuration that I ended up coming up with was taking the top pedals, which are usually like this, that come like this, and actually switching them to the bottom, switching sides and switching them to the bottom, where they sit more plush with the controller. In this configuration, it allows me to take my ring finger and have down here to help out with support, and have my middle finger activate the button that I have it assigned to. So this here has allowed me to actually play better. Like when I'm playing Call of Duty, this is my B button, lets me lay down, lets me slide. This is my reload. So the only time I'm actually taking my finger off here is to boom, jump, and I'm gone. Jump, reload, and slide, and everything's right here. This travel is a lot less than this, and I usually don't switch weapons, so I usually that's a lot easier than here. Just to go to the A button and just slide or whatever. I mean, jump or whatever. So that's one reason, why I did that. And yeah, that's just something that I didn't see a lot of people talking about. Like, it's not that comfortable to hold in my hand with the 4 pedals on there. And that's something that I was angry about. Well, not really angry about, but it was just a little disheartening, because like I said, this is a $160 controller, and I bought it for the pedals, and I can't even use 2 of them, because I just feel like it was poorly designed. Or maybe it was designed for people with bigger hands, and I have smaller hands. So I need those extra fingers to give me like comfortable support, to where I can hold it comfortably and still, play without having to interfere with these buttons only when I need to. And I think that's the one thing that the Scuffs have, where their pedals come straight down here, and you have to actually force your fingers up. The Scuffs pedals aren't where your fingers would naturally lay on the controller. So that's the only thing I think the Scuff have on this. Other than that, this controller is beautiful. It's nice. I love the weight on it. I love switching back and forth. Another thing, I wish we had more profiles we could switch on the fly, like maybe 4 versus the 2. Because like this is using my Call of Duty. This is like my UFC, Madden, any other game type, where I just have like quicker response in my in my thumbsticks. And another thing I noticed is that with these hair triggers, just by them on like default right here, I noticed that they only really seem to work in like Call of Duty. I tried to play it on Battlefield, and I actually had to put them back up in a normal position in order to get a shot off. Then I had to go in within the app, calibrate the triggers. Then I was able to put back the trigger stop, and then I was actually able to go. But that's just, I'm more leaning toward that's a game design versus just the hardware of the controller. because of how Battlefield is actually, coded to work with the bullets, and it's a lot different than Call of Duty. So that wasn't really major, but it was just a thing I noticed. But other than that, man, if you have the extra money and you want to, go ahead, spend it, and keep your receipt just in case you don't like it. Take it back. I mean, it is what it is. I like it so far. I'm gonna keep it. My current configuration is just to take the 2 top paddles, switch sides, put them on the bottom. It's most comfortable for me to use these fingers to hold it, and then my middle finger to actually activate the paddle. So like this. So yeah, man. I hope this helped anybody out with their decision on whether they want to buy the Xbox Elite controller. And yeah, this is your boy Tokyo, and I'm out. Peace.